Okay, can we have a collective sigh of relief right now? You just had 3 weeks of back to back papers. I'm going to show you what this looks like. You started off with kind of this lightweight 3 day week, then you went boom, 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 and you got 3 papers done just like that. Guess what? The rest of the class fits on one screen here, and there's only one more paper left. Okay, so collective sigh, you've made it. You're the few, the strong, the proud. Um, don't want to overstate it, but let's admit it, that was really fast. Okay, so November 10th through 16th, we are starting our research paper. And before we have a collective gasp, let me let you know that this week is going to be a little bit lighter on work, and it's going to lay some of the next 2 weeks will lay the foundations for the paper. Then the following week we'll be writing the paper, and then the final paper will be due. It is not too early to start looking for your assignment, your topic of choice, and the college dictates that it has to be a persuasive or problem-solving position paper. So it's slightly different than argument in that it ups the ante a little bit. Persuasion asks for a decision to be made, either a mental decision, a shift from one position to another, or a physical decision, something that I do. So it's different than argument. In argument, it tends to be a little bit more cerebral. Cerebral. It tends to be more of a position instead of a movement. And so it could be a problem solution paper. It could be just another type of persuasive paper, but these are going to be the things you can't just state the problem and argue that there's a problem. You've also got to solve it because that makes it persuasive. Okay, so what are we doing this week specifically? The only things you have to turn in this week are 3 exercises. They're all in the classroom. I'm going to tell you about them right now, and I can show you where they are in the classroom. They're in the course content. The first one is a list of grammar exercises. In the classroom, you'll see a worksheet that has like a list of different topics and page numbers, and you choose from the Erin text which exercise you want to do based on what you feel like you need to sharpen your sword on. We don't want to. We want to take. This is where it becomes individual. If you know that you are strong in one area, you want to pick an area of weakness and just refresh on it. Oh, sorry, we've got a little bit of action going on in my kitchen right now. All the kids are off the bus. Could you tell by that hellacious scream? Okay, so that was awesome. So we've got the grammar exercise. We've got that you choose, and you just post that to me. That doesn't need to be discussion board. It's going to feel a little bit like high school grammar again, I'll be honest. For this one, this is a course requirement by the college. They want us to do something with APA, and so rather than switch gears to APA in such a short course, I'm having you do a compare contrast exercise where you tell me, I think it's 6 different things that are distinct between APA and MLA based on what the book tells you about that. Okay, so the third exercise in here is 5-3, and that's 5-3 coordinates with the course content. In the book, it's exercise 53.1, which I believe is in the MLA section. No, I lied. I believe it's in the page numbers change in all these different versions of the book, which makes professors batty, just so you know. I believe it might be in the writing a paper section. Research writing 50. I think it's in page 417, perhaps. It's 417. And yes, it is 53.1. And this is an exercise on plagiarism. I don't like to emphasize the negative, but I think it's important that we write at a conscious level. Very seldom have I ever had students who deliberately plagiarize, but I think it often is the fruit or product of maybe rushed research, or maybe even just a lack of awareness of what it takes to really document a source. We do a pretty decent job, I think, in K-12 telling you not to plagiarize, and that plagiarism happens when you copy a source directly and don't give credit to it. But we forget to say that when there is a source that you're putting in your own words, but it's the source, that we also need to cite that beyond covering ourselves for plagiarism. We're also trying to show that our research is credible. I once had a student who wrote a whole paper on nuclear weapons, and his research was me, myself, and I. Now, two things scared me about that. One, that he knew that much about nuclear weapons right off the top of his head, because I believe he did. But the second part was that he really thought that that was credible enough. I knew it, but I knew it. This was all from me. Great. Now go find the sources to back that up, because nobody's going to believe that a high school, except for me, that a high school 17-year-old is going to knows this much about it, or even if they do know about it, if it's reliable. The other part of this whole citation business is that as a academic person, if I'm reading your paper trying to study your topic myself, I want to be able to use your resources and go right to the source and find maybe a certain niche in your research that I want to develop more. For example, I'm reading a book right now in my own research called Blended, because I'm doing some work with blended education. And at the end of each chapter is an annotated, works cited, and I'm looking through it almost like a checklist of all the things I've read, because I'm trying to really encompass the whole gamut of what there is to read about it. And I'm realizing, okay, I read this one. Ooh, I need to read this one. It's going to catapult into my own research. So this is why the emphasis, not because I want to do any gotchas on plagiarism, as much as I want to make us aware of what we need to do to build credible, responsible writing that contributes to the academic community. So where these things land in the classroom are under course content. I'll show you that in a second. Because it's a short course, I want to give you just a glimpse into what's going on next week, in case these 3 exercises don't keep your high-powered minds occupied enough this week, okay? In case you don't need the breather, and you maybe need a breather closer to Thanksgiving. What we're going to be doing, these are just resource pages, but we're going to be writing a research proposal. Not to be confused, I know in Comp 1 there you do some proposal writing. This is just literally going to be your preliminary thesis, your preliminary works cited page, and your preliminary outline for the paper. So it doesn't hurt this week to start as, finish these things up as first priority, but maybe start looking for topics. If you want to shoot topics to me to see if there's something that if you're debating between two, the only thing I'd ask you to do is, could you stay away from tired topics? Or if you're going to do something that's been an issue forever, maybe find a new way to present it, and make sure that, of course, it has persuasive or problem-solving potential. It can be a fun topic. It can be a pop culture type topic. It can be a topic related to your area of interest. Like I said, right now I'm doing some peripheral research on my own for different jobs and different interests I have. It can be something that's fun for you. That's okay. Anything can be academic. I'm not worried about that. But I do have the requirement that I want it to be an interesting topic that, and it doesn't have to be like personally interesting to me, but it needs to be something that's not overdone. No offense, but I've read a lot of research papers on abortion. You got to knock my socks off and tell me something I don't know about that topic, okay? Great topic, but what's been, unless there's something new out there, let's keep it new. It doesn't have to be a brand new topic, maybe something that's just not as advertised. Then the other part of this is I'd like you to use the Info Ohio databases that you have permission to use through the college, and there's a username and password related to that, where you go into like all these electronic databases to get your sources. So if you start digging around for sources this week, don't do Google. Go into Info Ohio through our library links and get your sources from there. And we'll talk more about that next week. Have a great one. Oh, I was going to show you real quickly in the classroom where this stuff is. So, course content. And this will give you the unit agenda, and these will be where the 3 exercises are, and they'll show up as worksheets right in here. Okay, if you have any questions, do let me know, and thanks for hanging with this fast-paced course. Enjoy your relaxing week.